A woman sat in a military hospital surrounded by dying soldiers. The generals told her the war was killing them. She looked at the numbers and saw something else entirely. Then she drew a picture, and 18,000 soldiers lived. The Stoics taught that truth is not always loud. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the shape of evidence no one wanted to see. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. But the reverse is also true. We ignore real suffering when it arrives in a form we don't recognize. Florence Nightingale understood this. She knew that a room full of generals would not read a table of numbers. So she gave them something they could not look away from. The Crimean War was bleeding Britain dry, or so everyone believed. Nightingale arrived at the military hospitals and found something the battlefield reports had missed. Soldiers were not dying primarily from wounds. They were dying from cholera, from typhus, from the slow violence of filth and poor sanitation. She gathered the data. Then she did something no one had done before. She turned those numbers into a circular chart, a rose diagram, where the size of each wedge showed the cause of death. The blue wedge, preventable disease, dwarfed everything else. She placed that chart in front of the British generals. The room went quiet. You cannot argue with the shape you can see with your own eyes. 3 teachings live inside the story. First, compassion without clarity is incomplete. The Gita teaches that right action requires right seeing. Nightingale's love for the suffering soldiers was real, but it was her precision that saved them. Second, the form of truth matters as much as truth itself. Ancient teachers knew this. The Buddha spoke in parables, not doctrines, because the mind opens to a story before it opens to an argument. A chart is a kind of parable. Third, courage is not always loud. Sometimes it is a woman in a hospital, counting quietly, refusing to accept the story everyone else has already agreed upon. Here is the practice. Once this week, when you face a problem that feels overwhelming, stop and ask, what does the shape of this actually look like? Draw it, map it, put it on paper. The mind that can see a thing clearly has already begun to solve it. Clarity is the first act of care. If this brought you a moment of stillness, subscribe and walk this path with us. She did not fight the generals with anger. She fought them with a circle drawn in blue. And in that circle, 18,000 men found their way home.